Hello, all you hardcore boxing fans out there. How you doing? It's Russ here from Poker's Corner, the biggest gob in sport. We say the things on here that nobody dares say. Isn't that right? All you other YouTubers with press access, pull your tongues out grown men's ring holes. Dogs do that. You're not dogs, are you? Right. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Poker's International YouTube. That's our other channel. Feel free to like and subscribe and leave a comment and have a look at the stuff on there. Fantastic videos. I think there's about 14 or 15 up there now. So it's all good stuff, in it. Right, here we go. Manny Pacquiao. Right, this is how I look at it. 46-year-old next, isn't he, yeah? Why are they talking about Manny Pacquiao having another run? Eh? It's unbelievable, isn't it? Why are they not leaving this man alone? This man's give his all to boxing, hasn't it? Why can't they just leave him? Just leave him alone. Eh? You know, he's not fought for 3 years, but yet they're digging him up. Why would we need Manny Pacquiao back? Eh? He's in his 46th year. You know, Manny Pacquiao's had 72 fights, 62-8 and 2 draws. In the last 15 years, let me just repeat that again. In the last 15 years, Manny Pacquiao's lost 5 times and won 12. So he's gone 12-5 in the last 15 years. Right, but in that last 15 years, out of them 17 fights, he's got 1 stoppage. Lucas Mateus in the 7th round. That were in 2018. So he's not had a stoppage in over 6 years. Right. And like I said, in the last 15 years, he's had 1 stoppage, and that were 6 years ago. Craziness, absolute craziness. So he hasn't really carried his power up, has he? You know, yeah, he got rid of Ricky Hatton, didn't he? But that were light welter, wasn't it? But he hasn't really carried his power up, Manny Pacquiao. All this about he's carried his power up, it's a myth. Yeah, he stopped De La Hoya, didn't he? But it were accumulation of punches, wasn't it? But got a man here approaching 46-year-old, and they're still looking at working with him. It is absolute craziness. Craziness. And nobody's saying a word, are they? Nobody's saying a word. They're just letting these people just keep digging these people up. It's like, dig a hole. Well, that's what it is, isn't it? Hey? That's what this is. So they're looking at getting Manny Pacquiao out, eh? What about all these young stars coming through? You've got all these big stars coming through, but yet Manny Pacquiao, they're having to go back to guys like that. Oh my God. Unbelievable. Which brings me to the other end of the spectrum, Shakur Stevenson. You know, he's 21-0. Why won't the Bob father just let him go? Let him go now. He doesn't want to work with you. You know, just let him go. You know. But it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. I just think that boxing needs to change for the better, doesn't it, really? I mean, Stevenson, right? Shakur Stevenson, the next big thing is fighting that Harut Yunyan. Harut Yunyan, what is that? What is that? Harut Yunyan, where did they get him from? Where did they dig him up from? Hey? So he's gonna fight him tonight, right? He's 12-1, that guy. Do you know what I mean? Where have they got him from? This German guy. They're putting a German guy ranked 45 on BoxRec. And they're putting him in with Shakur Stevenson, who's ranked number 2 on BoxRec. The only person above Shakur Stevenson is Gervonta Davis, and that's the fight that we all want to see. We all want to see Gervonta Davis Shakur Stevenson or Gervonta Davis. Loma. He's at that top table, Stevenson, with Loma and Davis, you know, pound for pound. He's fighting a guy ranked 45. Why is that? Because Bob Arum keeps them apart, doesn't he? Years until they've got nothing left in them. And then they crank it up and say they're stronger, faster, quicker than a speeding bullet. And they put him in with somebody who's his equal. So when Stevenson and Gervonta Davis fight, it'll be in about 5 years when they can't talk, when they sound like Dave Allen and Riddick Bowe. Get Stevenson and Davis at it now, Bob Arum, you old codger. You know, people like Bob Arum, I just wish they'd do one out the sport, me. Absolute weapons. Absolute weapons. What can you do? So that's Manny Pacquiao at one end of the spectrum. And then you've got Shakur Stevenson. Both of them have worked with Bob Arum. Do you see where I'm coming from? Look, when Manny Pacquiao fought Mayweather, look how late we got that. It'll be same with Stevenson Davis. Absolute joke. So these fighters need to step up and fight somebody. They're not all like David Evanesian. He's stepping up to fight Jaron Ennis. Do you know what I mean? But this is how I look at it. Eddie Hills should have been putting Evanesian in with Conor Benn a long time ago. You know, how did they think David Evanesian and Carl Greaves and Neil Marsh, all them boys are going to feel about having to work with this lot? When really they've been treated shabbily by the establishment, haven't they? David Evanesian, Neil Marsh and Carl Greaves. They've been treated poorly. But that's what happens. You get treated poorly by people, and then 2 years down the line, you've got to go back and work with them and keep your mouth shut because you've got to put steam on the table. It's horrible. Can you imagine David Evanesian and his team having to work with Eddie Hills and Frank Smith and Matcham and that lot after the way they've been treated, especially with that Conor Benn carry on? An absolute joke. No, do you know what I mean? So I hope David Evanesian runs over Jaron Ennis, but somehow I think that might be a hard fight for him. But I hope he does it. So, Porky, what do you think about Jake Paul against Mike Perry, July 20th? Who cares? Porky, Joe Joyce against Chisora. That's a great fight. Who's sponsoring it? Do you know? Yeah, I do know. It's Shackleton's high seat chairs from Sheffield. You know them chairs that are reclining that for old people. Yeah, Joyce and Chisora are being sponsored by them. You know what I mean? And the Scooby-Doo DV collection, because a pair of them can't talk properly. You know what I mean? Joe Joyce against Chisora. It's everything that's wrong with boxing, isn't it? Men with a combined age of 80. How can that be? Men rocking 80-year-old? Eh? Absolute shocking. Absolutely shocking. But hey ho. Eddie Hills explaining the situation to chums in the media. Cougs, Puppy Parsons, and all these go-to guys. Listen, Eddie, it's all right explaining any situation to them boys. Why don't you explain it to somebody like me or some hardcores, Eddie? You can't do that, can you? Because we'll be all over you like a rash. Haney is finished. You know that, Eddie, and I know. Garcia wrote him off. It's just a case of it all being over now, bar the shouting, Eddie. Yeah, they'll bring Haney back. They've given him his belt back, but he's damaged goods, isn't he? He's a bit like Lucian Booty, isn't he, after Frotch wrote him off. Could you imagine if there was some discrepancies after that fight and they had to give Booty back the belt? He would have still been wrote off and mashed up, wouldn't he? That's how I look at it. But it is what it is. So, big up to Johnny Fisher tonight. Johnny Fisher's going for it against Babick. The world is going to stop. Two worlds collide. Alan Babick, a pizza delivery driver, against Johnny Fisher, a man that loves the Chinese. You couldn't make it up. But I'll tell you what, if Johnny Fisher knocks Babick out tonight, I'm Team Johnny Fisher. I'm going to get behind him. He's doing it the proper way. He's got the area belt. What is he, about 11-0? You're doing it the proper way. So if Johnny Fisher, aka Elmer Fudd, if he knocks out Babbitt tonight, I'm Team Johnny. All right. Okie dokie. Let's have a look what we've got here. I think Johnny Fisher can win. You know what? I think Johnny Fisher is a big, solid lump that probably does everything 7 out of 10 all the way across board. He's a good, solid all rounder, isn't he? You know what I mean? I think he's a good, solid all rounder. And I think if Johnny Fisher can get a win, like I say, if he can get a win tonight, that'd be fantastic. But if he loses, Eddie won't be bothered. So they'll still prop him up on them shows, won't they? And be getting looked after. You know, his dad's done a fair old job for him, Johnny Fisher, getting him out there. So you've got to give them boys credit. They've took a bit of stick. It is a bit cringy what they've done, but whatever the kid's picking up wins, it's not cringe, is it? So he keeps his mouth shut. He's a bit of a splinter arse, though, Johnny Fisher, in my opinion. You ask him an opinion about somebody in boxing. Oh, he's my pal. He's a friend of mine. Oh, I like him. Have some balls, kid. Have some balls. But he's doing it the proper way. I can get behind him. I just wish his dad would go a bit steady with some of the nosh that he puts down his neck. Every time I see his dad on social media, he's got the nose bag on, and it's usually sweet and sour chicken balls or a spring roll is shoving down his throat. So just go steady because you're going to head for an heart attack, big Johnny Fisher Senior. All right, but we wish Johnny Fisher well tonight and my pal Mark Tibbs. So good luck against Babbitt, but he should run straight over him. They're not going to put him in with Babbitt if he weren't ready for him. And let's have it right. Nobody's mentioning it, but Johnny Fisher's done hundreds of rounds with Babbitt. So let's not get carried away. He sparred Babbitt. Nobody's mentioning it. So, okie dokie. One piece out. Keep on trucking, keep sporting boxing, don't have nightmares. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. And thank you very much for having a look at our sister channel and subscribing. Porky's International. One piece out.